everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Christina Villegas. I am with the Game Plan College team, and we are going to talk about financial aid, verification, and appeals today as part of our weekly Wellness Wednesdays workshops for the Durham Public Schools. Today, we're going to start by learning about verification, and then we will decipher two financial aid award letters, and we will talk about the process of appealing financial aid as well. So to start off with verification, this is a process to verify that the information that you submitted on your FAFSA or self-reported is correct. So you may be selected for verification by the federal government or by the individual college or universities for which you have applied and been admitted to. So colleges select you for verification after you've been admitted and typically before you get your financial aid award letter. Since they need to verify that information, they can't give you a financial aid award letter that's completely accurate. And you may be randomly selected, or if you were not able to use the data retrieval tool on the FAFSA, which is where you import your information directly from the IRS, that's another reason why you may be verified, to just double check that everything that you included is correct. So colleges need to ensure that your expected family contribution is correct in order to finalize your financial aid award letter. And if you are not exactly sure what the expected family contribution means, we do have another recording on our YouTube channel that goes a little bit more in depth about the different financial aid types and how that gets calculated once you file your FAFSA. So you may be selected for verification by the federal government, and the way that you can tell is by seeing your student aid report. So this is one example, and if you look next to the expected family contribution, which is $2,031, there is a small asterisk, and that asterisk means that you will be verified. And then it explains it down here as well. It says that you were selected for a review process called verification, and that your school has the authority to request copies of certain financial documents from you and your parents. So just because, so if you have this asterisk, it is very, very likely that you will be verified by your colleges and universities, but not every college and university actually verifies your information. It kind of just depends on a case-by-case scenario. But this student will more than likely have to complete at least one verification process. So there are three simple steps of verification, and we'll go a little bit more into depth, but the first step is to gather documents. So documents that you may need would be tax information, so that's the 1040s, the tax returns, or W-2s for the designated year. You will need the number of people in your household, and any benefits from the government, such as Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, SNAP, that would be food stamps or child support information. Once you gather your documents, you want to carefully fill out the verification worksheets. So each college has their own specific worksheet, and they have their own specific ways that you can submit or complete the verification process. Some require you to print a physical sheet and either fax or email it to them. Some you can do everything online via their own specific portal, or some schools actually use a third-party website where you would input on your information into that website, and then that website gives it directly to them, verifies it, and sends it to the college. So each college or university will be different for how you would complete that verification process. And that lastly, or the third step, is to submit before the deadline or as soon as you can. Colleges will let you know that you were selected for verification, typically via email, or it's possible via your student portal. And you want to just submit everything as soon as possible so that you don't miss out on any money. So verification happens in order for you to receive financial aid. And the sooner you submit, the sooner your financial aid award gets finalized, and you can find out if that school is a good financial fit for you. So here's an example of a verification worksheet for UNC Greensboro. It can look overwhelming, but it's we at the Game Plan College team, or your college advisor, your counselor, can help you fill these out. And this is actually a little bit of a simple form. I can walk you quickly through it. You would put your name, your student ID number specific to that school. Then you put who lives with you in your household. So that's why you need that information. The first person is already filled out. That's yourself, and then any other family members, whether they will be attending college, and if so, which college, and if not college, what grade level they are in. So if you have a sibling, let's say Alex Cruz sibling, they are in the ninth grade, and so you would put that here. The second section is asking if you worked, and if you would be providing, you would say either yes or no for the student, and you would be providing the tax return transcript or the IRS tax returns or W-2s. Section 3C is if parents worked, and if they did work, whether they have submitted the tax return or you would select the appropriate box. And then this is the end of the first page. You would just sign and say that all of the information that you provided on here is correct to the best of your knowledge. So you want to make sure you fill it out completely and carefully and not miss the signature or the dates. The second page is just your name, student ID, and you would put whether the student earned any income or did not earn any income. And then if you did earn income, where you earned it from. Say I worked at Walmart and I received a total of $2,000 because I only worked a few months. You would put that there, and you will check that you will attach a W-2 and sign as a student. So these are the first two pages of the verification for UNC Greensboro, and we can help you fill this out in the case that you get confused or feel overwhelmed by it. And so here is a tip. You are likely applying to more than one college and university, and each college or university usually has their admissions portal where you find out whether you were accepted or not. Then they might have a separate financial aid portal. And so just the tip is to track somehow all of your usernames and passwords for each college for each different type of portal. And so here's just an example of a tracker, school name, whether they were accepted or not, whether they have received their award letter. They've only received one and are waiting for two more. This student did have to do verifications for two schools, and they already did it, but the third school did not require verification. So this tracker is just an example. You can do it on a sheet, on a Google Doc, on a Word doc, on a notebook, however you best keep track. But I highly just recommend for you to keep track of not only your verification status and if you've received your financial aid, but also your usernames and passwords for each school and each portal. Now we're going to move on to deciphering a financial aid package. So each financial aid package looks a little different. Here is a real example of one from 2012 for a school in Washington. And we can see that this student, it kind of outlines the total cost of attendance here. So the total cost to attend the school is $27,302. The student had a zero expected family contribution. So that means that their total need was $27,302. And they even tell you that the total award amount that they provided for the student is the $27,302. So at first glance, you might say, okay, this school is meeting my full financial need. But you have to look closer at each item that they're offering you line by line. So we can see a Pell Grant, another grant, a state grant, and then we see loans, actually lots of loans. So if we break this down, total amount of grants was $10,000. So that's free money. So $27,000 minus $10,000, that means I'm actually missing $17,000. And that's how the school is making up for it with two loans or three loans for the student. The direct subsidized loan, the unsubsidized loan, and the Perkins loans. Those are under the student's name. And that is a total of $6,500. And then there is a Parent Plus loan from the federal government in the amount of $10,000 and $802. So this school would not be a good financial fit for me, for example, if I was trying to go to the school, because I know that my parents would not have qualified for that federal loan or would not have wanted to take out a loan in their name to support my college education. So just because you get offered a parent loan doesn't mean that your parent will qualify. They do have to qualify with credit. And they also have to be willing to take out this loan in your name. And so a lot of students don't rely on that support, and that would be the issue with this financial aid package. And if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat and we'll address them at the end. So my net cost, what this school is costing me would be the loan amount, and that would be for students and parents, and that's a total of $300 or $17,302 that this school is costing me. So not a good financial fit for me. Here is another example of a school, and this school outlined like the line by line of costs for the total cost of attendance for this school. So if we look at the total cost, we see $18,802. And if we look at our total financial aid, that's $16,449. So you might think this school is not meeting my full financial need. I can't afford to this school. But the great thing about this is that we can look at this one a little bit differently and actually calculate it a little bit better. By seeing this cost of attendance, I will not be billed or charged directly on my school account for my transportation fees or for my books and supplies or for miscellaneous fees. Those are other expenses that will arise when you're in college, but that's like miscellaneous fees can include like shampoo and toothpaste, like your personal items and hygiene. Transportation includes if you're having to take a plane to the school or if you have to drive back and forth to the school. Those are transportation costs that you will have, but will not be charged to your account. So if I look at my direct cost or what will be directly billed to my student account, that includes these 4 items: the tuition, the fees, the room, which is my dorm room, and the board, which is my meal plan. So total direct costs are $15,622. And now if I look at my financial aid is able to cover my direct billed costs, my direct costs. And so if I look at total grants now, I have a Pell Grant, a North Carolina public school grant, and then a scholarship. I'm going to include the scholarship amount in the grant amount. So that's free money. Total grants is $10,949. And total loans, I only have 2 loans here, and they're offered for a total of $5,500. And that's the direct subsidized loan and direct unsubsidized loan for under the student's name. And so that's me breaking down this financial aid. And if I look at my net price, so what this college is costing me, that's my billed amount and my loan amount. I'm not getting billed anything because my financial aid is covering my bill, but my loan amount is $5,500. So that's my net price for this school. So if I'm comparing this school with the other school where the net price was $17,000 and some dollars, this school is a better financial fit for me. And my parents do not have to take out any loans in their name to cover my school costs. And we can help you figure out, so each financial aid package does look different, and not every school is nice enough to kind of give you line by line what each cost is. That might require you to go look it up on their website, but we can also help you figure this out if you need any assistance, or your college advisor or school counselor. Now we're going to talk about appealing a financial aid package. So that would be in the case of, my financial aid is not covering what I need, and I need more financial aid because either I can't cover that or because I have a special circumstance. So appealing a financial aid package, here are the 4 steps. First, you need to determine if you meet a special circumstance that requires or that would qualify you for a financial aid appeal. If you do qualify for a financial aid appeal, you want to contact your financial aid office to understand their appeal process. So again, each college is different. And you want to submit your appeal and attach documentation. And lastly, you want to follow up on your financial aid award letter. So here are the special circumstances, and because of COVID-19, many people have lost their jobs, and that would qualify as a special circumstance since you, for this upcoming 2021-2022 school year, you used 2019 taxes. So that was before the pandemic. Your family situation, financial situation may have changed. So this is especially relevant right now. So here are some special circumstances. You're concerned you will not be able to meet the required contribution based on your financial aid package, or last year's income was affected by a significant one-time event. A job loss could be that one significant one-time event, or there are high medical or dental expenses that were not covered by an individual's insurance, or there are high dependent care costs related to a special needs individual or elderly grandparent. If a parent loses a job or experiences a salary reduction, if a parent's income varies annually, say they do contract work and they're affected by the weather, or maybe they work in the restaurant business and they were affected by since restaurants closed for a bit, they didn't get as much income in tips, so that would be an example of that. Or a parent's income varies, or sorry, a member of the family is seriously ill. Or if a parent dies, is incarcerated, becomes disabled, or is institutionalized, or if Social Security benefits that a child received stops because a child reached the age of majority, or if a family suffers from a natural or financial disaster. So all of these would be examples of special circumstances. That means you should probably file for an appeal if your financial aid is not covering what you need it to cover for you to attend that college. Something I would say is the appeal process can be kind of lengthy, and we'll see in a second. But so you should appeal only for your top choice school, or your top 2 or 3 choice schools, narrowing it down. For the example of that first school that they, of the first financial aid package that they gave me, they technically did meet my full financial need with a $27,000 cost. I don't see me being able to appeal that much for it to change drastically. So I would not choose to appeal that school because that's not my top choice school based on their financial aid not being the best. So undergo the appeal process only for schools you're very highly interested in and truly want to attend, and that you feel like they could adjust your financial aid. So here's an example of submitting an appeal. This is a letter, but this could be in form of an email. I hope this email finds you well. You want to direct it to somebody. You want to be professional. This person spoke on the phone first with their financial aid advisor, and that's a great recommendation. They're talking about, you want to be specific with what happened. So this person is saying, since I filed my FAFSA in March 5, 2017, my ability to pay out-of-pocket expenses has been altered significantly due to my father's job loss. Due to this unforeseen issue, my ability to pay for my education will change. Based on my father's previous salary, I anticipated that my family would contribute $12,000 to my education this year. However, these circumstances have shifted dramatically. We will not be able to pay this amount. Instead, we will only be able to pay $1,000 based on the money that we have on hand for my education. Thus, I am requesting $11,000 more in financial aid. So this student is very specific with numbers. They do show that they are able and willing to contribute something towards their education. That's something, good, because it shows the financial aid officer you're invested, you really want to attend this school. And then they include that they're committed to their education in spite of the serious circumstance. So this is great because it shows that the student is motivated. And they say, attached, you will find a letter of termination from my father's human resources file from his previous job. And it further provides specifics of my new situation. Please let me know if there's any questions or concerns, or if you need any more information. So this is a good example of of a letter. This is a physical letter. If it's an email, I would probably make this a little bit more concise, and you want to be specific and provide exact conditions of personal information of how your situation changed. And the last step of the financial aid appeal process is to follow up. So you want to make sure you're frequently checking your email for any emails from your financial aid officer. You want to submit first, be knowledgeable of all the steps that they need. So some schools might require a worksheet and a statement from yourself and a statement from like someone else that knows you, maybe like a counselor or your pastor at church. And so you want to submit all the documentation as soon as you have it. And then you want to follow up occasionally. So maybe like every week or so, every 2 weeks on the status of your appeal. The appeal process can take about 3 weeks or more, just because of the volume and just because of all it takes to review and verify all of the information you submit. So you want to be patient, but also follow up, because that shows that you are invested and truly care about getting your financial aid, your new financial aid award letter. And you want to be courteous and kind. So financial aid officers, the one assigned to you, has full discretion on how they give you the financial aid based on case by case scenarios. So they can override your dependency status if that changes. They can override your financial needs. So they have a lot of power. So it's best to be courteous and kind to them, because they hold the power of what financial aid you would get. And of course they will be fair, and of course they follow guidelines, but you don't want to get on their bad side, because they don't have to help you since they already provided you with a financial aid award letter. So just be extra courteous and kind with them, and be appreciative of the help that you do get. So that was the end of our presentation. Here is how you can connect with us. We have Instagram and Twitter at Game Plan College. You can follow us on our YouTube channel, and that's where we'll be posting this presentation that you can share with your friends. And if you want to get our biweekly newsletter, fill out our sign-in sheet here at bit.ly/GPC sign-in, and we'll add you to our listserv. And if you ever need to make an appointment with us, this is our directly connected to our calendar. You can do that at calendly.com/gameplancollege. So I'm not sure what you mean about the expected family contribution being not accurate. If you mean that because they use 2019's financial information, and they say that you're able to contribute, like, let's say $5,000 for your education, and that's no longer the case because your income has drastically changed, you can you don't have to wait to receive a financial aid package. So you can, as soon as you get accepted to a school, that's when you can reach out to the financial aid office directly via email, and just let them know my financial situation has changed since 2019 because my parent lost a job, or because my parents' business had to close down, for example. And so connect it with your financial aid officer and let them know you don't have the power to change your EFC, because that is based on a formula based on just the FAFSA, and FAFSA does not gather a lot of information. So you want to talk directly to your financial aid officer, and it could be in advance of you receiving your financial aid package. That way they're aware of the situation and how that's different, and you can even start submitting documentation in advance so that can help you get a more accurate financial aid package. So the short answer is no, you don't have to wait for the financial aid package to file. I guess you wouldn't be appealing, you would just be letting them know my financial situation has changed, like how can I update my information? But you do have to be accepted first into the college. So financial aid office will not have your information until you've been accepted, and that they can then start processing your financial aid. I hope that made sense. Let me know if you need to clarify anything. Okay, awesome. Are there any other questions? there are no more questions. We thank you for joining us. We hope that you do fill out our sign-in sheet that records that you attended this information and session and that you will add you to our listserv. Ms. Jackie put in the link into the chat. You can fill that out for us. And we hope to see you at our next session about community colleges if that interests you, or you can feel free to share this information and rewatch this video on YouTube.